World War II is a major world event that took place between 1939 and 1945. During the war, the U.S. fought in two theaters of conflict, in the Pacific and in Europe. In the Pacific, the fight was mostly led by the U.S. Marines in the Island Hopping campaigns, where they went from island to island across the Pacific Ocean to drive the Japanese back after the attack on Pearl Harbor. During the campaign, almost 375,000 Americans lost their lives or were injured, but Japan suffered almost 2.5 million casualties. Some things that most people don't know, is that during the war, the Japanese actually landed on American territories in the Aleutian Islands, mostly on the island of Kitska, where 5,000 Japanese soldiers occupied the island for almost 2 years until the U.S. bombardments forced them off in the middle of the night before the invasion happened. Another thing that people don't know is the Japanese launched almost 3,000 weather balloons with 35 pounds of explosives on each one. Their hopes were that they would rise into the atmosphere and the jet stream would carry them all the way to the United States, where sensors would release the bomb and it would fall and start wildfires and kill many people and cause havoc throughout the United States. This wasn't the case. Many of the balloons did not ever make it here, but some did. There are reports of balloons making it all the way as far east as Iowa, but only 6 people were confirmed killed by a balloon that landed in Oregon. During the war, the European campaign was a little bit different. It was fought mostly on land and led by the U.S. Army and the other allies. The concentration camps that the Nazis had numbered almost 40,000, and at the peak of the camp at Auschwitz, almost 6,000 Jews were killed every day. The D-Day invasions that helped the Allies bring a swifter end to the war took place in Normandy, France, where almost 9,000 people died. It was the largest amphibious operations ever to be commenced. Some things that people don't always look at when it comes to war, once you get past all the casualties and the havoc that's wreaked, is the technological advances that we get from war. Without Wernher von Braun working for the Nazis and getting their funding, we might not have made it to the moon as fast as we did. After the war, he was given asylum and brought to the U.S., where he worked with NASA and building rockets. Other things could be tracked vehicles. During World War I, we had tanks, but they were slow and cumbersome. They only moved a few miles an hour, and most of the time you could run faster than what they could drive. But during World War II, these advances came out a lot more, and we still see the technology that was developed nowadays on construction sites with bulldozers and other tracked vehicles. Another thing is the Manhattan Project. Without the Manhattan Project, we might not have nuclear power right now. Although the nuclear bombs devastated many cities and millions of people were killed and are still suffering from those bombs today, the nuclear power that we have has enabled us to make many more strides forward.